Do you want to be a millionaire? I'm gonna tell you a secret. If you are here and watching this video, you're most likely a woodworker. So you're probably in the wrong industry to be a millionaire. But if you want to make some money to support your very expensive woodworking hobby, or you want to build a side hustle, you are on the right spot. I just got a custom order for a round epoxy resin board, and I'm gonna take you through the whole process. Pricing, costs, profit, the build process, everything from start to finish. Spoiler alert, we didn't make a lot of money on this one, but as you watch the video, you will see why slashing my profits was an amazing business decision. Okay guys, so the first step in this project is to build the form. The client has a very specific size for this one because this one is gonna be the cover for a Weber grill. We make the form about 3 centimeters oversized so that we have enough material to work with later on to get it to the perfect size we need. After we traced out the circle of the form, I cut off the majority of the material with the jigsaw and then go to the router table to make this form perfectly round. By the way, I love this bit, but more to that later. So for the walls, we're using something called garden etching that's readily available at Bunnings in the garden section. It's super easy to use and very, very durable. Best way I found to cut that is just with my angle grinder. Before I put the walls on though, I make sure that I cover my plywood with the help of my tough tape. This one will be our mold release, so the epoxy doesn't stick to that. So first, let's talk about the cost of this project. The 20-meter roll of the garden etching was, I think, about 50 bucks, at least at the time I bought it, which was ages ago. I only used like a meter on this one and I usually can reuse it. So let's say the whole form was about 5 bucks with the etching, the plywood and the mold release tape. The slab cost me about $100 from 4 Living Timber. These guys are awesome, and if you are in the Sydney area, you should check them out. Best service ever. For this board I used about half of the slab, so let's say 50 bucks. The river soaked up about 2 liters of epoxy, which is the most expensive part of this project. The 2 liters come to about $100, which is very expensive. So all up, our material cost roughly is about $155. I was in touch with the client already and we talked a little bit about the layout, how it should look. It was pretty easy and left most of the creative stuff to me. So what we're gonna do next is we're gonna trace out the shape on my 2 slabs that I have for that river and then cut out the slabs and place them inside to be ready for our pool. After we traced our form on the live edge slab, I cut out the rough shape with a jigsaw. This doesn't need to be perfect. Then we have to clean up the slab. My camera decided to turn off unfortunately and we lost the footage, but I basically cleaned it up with a couple of wire wheels and sanded it off. Now we place the 2 halves into the foam and we are ready for our epoxy pour. The client chose this amazing blue color and it will really pop with this orange Weber grill. There's a couple of things you have to remember with epoxy, like use the correct epoxy for the application that you are having. There are always temperature issues. I have a video on my channel with the top 5 epoxy mistakes that everyone makes. You should check that out if you're unfamiliar with epoxy. The one thing I will tell you here is never undermix your epoxy. This is something you can't come back from. If you undermix it, you will create soft spots in your final product. We have had a massive leak on the form and you watched me struggle through here with tape to contain the leak somehow, and in the end it worked, which is awesome, but it cost me quite a bit of time and that will also eat into the profit of this project. I could usually sell this board for about $450. In this case though, because it was an awesome project and I really wanted to build it, and the guy who ordered it is a legend, I made him a deal for $350. So for my hourly rate, this board all up took me about 7 hours to build. This includes a 2 hours delay because of an unfortunate epoxy leak. So my profit was about $195, which makes my hourly rate $27. So obviously that is not much, but I will get to why this was a really good business decision in a minute.
So it has been a couple of days since I have been back in the shop. So what we're gonna do now is I set up already my very rudimentary flattening jig. Now we have to flatten the board on both sides, and then we're gonna see how we're gonna make that exact 45.5 centimeters that we need for the client.
The flattening jig I have is really rudimentary. I tried a while back to make a height adjustable one, but I died away from it and it was quite complicated. I was thinking to just buy one. If you think though that would make a fantastic video and we could do a flattening jig video out of it, let me know. So this is one of the best methods to clean up that mess that flattening makes. I just open my garage doors and blow everything to the neighbors. Just kidding. I don't have neighbors. I had a couple of hose tearouts here, so what I did is I put a little bit of a flat coat of tabletop epoxy on it. That solved all the problems. Now we are making our template. If I have to be really accurate, I try to use templates as often as I can. It is much easier to take off a mill here and there on a sheet of plywood than on an epoxy resin board. Also, if I mess it up, there's nothing broken but the scrap sheet of ply, and trust me, I mess up a lot. To attach the template, I used the blue tape NCA glue trick, which works really well. This is a really simple trick to glue your template to your workpiece without any glue residue.
So we cut out the template. The template is exactly 44.5 centimeters. So now with our dual bearing twin cut bit from Torquata, we're gonna trace this template here all the way around, and that should give us the exact same radius. So you can see how this rudder bit has angled blades. This gives a huge advantage because the tear out will be hopefully minimal. And the epoxy, if you have worked with it before, you know tears out like crazy. So fingers crossed, because this could ruin the whole project and we have to start from zero if that doesn't work. Fingers crossed, a little nervous, let's do it. I can't take off my mask right now because it's very messy in here. This is the quality of the shavings coming off this bit. And this is why I love this bit. It's so clean. One of my most used and favorite bits. Look how clean it is. It's like sanded. So there's almost no tear outs. You can see that here. Really, really super clean. I did take some really heavy cuts there. So with the epoxy I went a couple of passes, but with the wood I wasn't concerned whatsoever because I know what that bit can do. So that works fantastically. It's all nice and clean. Okay, let's get this off. Yes. Woohoo! Nice.
This bit is fantastic, guys, and Timbecon gives you now 10% off this bit. Just type in the promo code CWW10BIT. Also, all the other products I'm using in this video are now 5% off with CWW5. I don't know how long this will be on, so go and check it out right now. The last steps now are to sand the whole thing to 180 grit. Unfortunately, during the curing process, we had a really hot day and there were some bubbles trapped under the surface, which now are little pits. So we did a little flat coat of tabletop epoxy already beforehand that filled most of the holes. After we sanded to 120 grit, I always get the CA glue out and fill all the little tiny imperfections in the wood and the epoxy. Don't skip this step. This brings your woodworking piece to the next level. Then we finish everything with the Walrus cutting board oil, which is an amazing food safe finish, and I love to use it on all my charcuterie boards and cutting boards as well.
So this was an awesome project. I really loved building it. Obviously we didn't make a huge profit, but because I gave the client such a good deal, he ordered another little board for his Weber grill. And now we're in the talks of building him a full-on river table. If you're doing the right thing by the customers, they will know and they really will appreciate that. So always keep in mind, customer service and communication with the customers is key. Don't forget to check out the products linked in the description below with the discount codes. Now, before you do anything else, watch one of this video next. They will share another secret on how to build your woodworking journey. As always, I appreciate you and I see you next time. Cue the B-roll.